They say a lot of money can make you get some really crazy stuff, but to this extent, now that's something to talk about. NBA players with their hectic schedule sure know how to take the stress off of their shoulders and accounts by buying some really bizarre stuff. Want to know what we're talking about? Then keep watching this video till the very end to know some of the dumbest things that NBA players have spent their millions on. Why have one when you could have three? That was the motto that Antoine Walker was walking around with when he retired from the NBA. The player had earned around $100 million after his last contract, and one would think that after earning that big of an amount, that too, when you're just about to retire, would be enough to live a comfortable life with. But Walker definitely had other plans in mind. He knew that he won't be playing anymore, but he still chose to buy not one, but more than three luxurious cars out of the money he'd earned in his last NBA season. One of the cars retailed for $500 million alone. Not saying that you shouldn't spend your hard-earned money on luxurious cars, but knowing that the money you've earned right now won't come back the next season should make you want to get only one, and Walker himself viewed the importance of spending money wisely in one of his interviews after that. You might be wondering, when did luxurious cars and buying them become dumb at all? Well, after these very purchases, Walker went completely bankrupt. Go figure. Ever heard of a $10,000 cat? Spend your millions on a house, a car, a business? Nope. Cats? Yes. Who knew Ben Simmons had such a craze for cats as pets? The 25-year-old NBA star player has spent thousands of dollars on a very rare breed of cats called the Savannah cats. These cats are not like the ordinary ones and have a greater percentage of wildness in them than the ordinary ones. The owners have to take special care for them, and guess, for an NBA player like him who has so much traveling to do, the special needs took a toll on him as he decided to give them up for adoption a few months later. That's just cold-hearted, Ben Simmons. He later talked about how he regrets spending that many dollars on these types of cats that already are not like regular ones. Exotic animals like such are not to be taken in as pets, and to buy a bunch of them is obviously not a very smart move. The print of your shoe should always match with your private jet too. Another case of an NBA player and a private jet, the two can't seem to get enough of each other apparently. Michael Jordan is one of the most legendary NBA players out there, and for him to get a private jet is not a big deal at all. But wait till you find out why we've added his private jet into this list. Last year in 2020, Michael Jordan bought MJ G550. That alone cost him $61.5 million. But getting his own private jet just wasn't enough for him, and he decided to get a customized elephant print paint job. And for what reason? He got that done just to match with his Jordan shoes. Now that's a new level of obsession with your shoe collection. For someone who's been in the NBA for so long, every single thing is in the public eye. This might be Jordan's dumbest and most expensive purchase ever, and it's going down in history for that. $1 million private jet that doesn't even work? Now that's embarrassing. A word of advice: never ever buy anything that allows you to travel anywhere in the world without first looking into the details of it. What happened to Scottie Pippen was unimaginable and also so embarrassing at the same time. It's common for millionaires to get private jets to add into their luxurious lifestyles, but sometimes they can get you to make some pretty weird decisions. Scottie Pippen invested a total of $1.5 million on a private jet, only to find out that it needed a lot of repairs. And more so, those repairs added up into a total of another $1 million. This whole scenario led to a legal battle between Pippen and the law firm that was involved in this deal, but Pippen ended up losing some millions of dollars there too, because the contract clearly stated that the private jet is not functional and clearly needed a lot of repairs. In short, always hire someone to read your paperwork before you go get your hands on something that Gucci. What do you do with all those extra millions? Buy a Shark Tank, of course, and not just any other Shark Tank, but one that requires a couple $1,000s every month for its maintenance. You heard that right. Gilbert Arenas bought a 9,000 square foot mansion back in the day that had 10 bathrooms, 7 bedrooms, and not one, not even two, but 3 massive shark tanks. Guess it's true that rich people have this weird obsession with sharks, but to the point that they want to have some right in their homes? That's absurd. The maintenance of each tank costs $5,000 a month, and if many years later people don't remember him for his games, they'll definitely remember him as the NBA player who had 3 shark tanks right in his home. Stay with us as you're about to know about some even weirder things ever bought by NBA players. All other luxurious things aside, but getting your own ATM machine? A friend in need is a friend indeed, and a friend like Deshaun Stevenson is what we all want too. Getting your own personal ATM machine may sound cool, but it's a very dumb purchase at the same time. The famous NBA shooting guard got his own ATM machine that he decided to put in his kitchen, and not for himself, but for his friends. He needed to have something that his friends could use in an emergency, but for Stevenson, an emergency was a night out. The NBA player reportedly stocks his ATM machine with $20,000, and the machine gets refilled after every 2 or 3 months. When asked about that purchase, Stevenson said that he wanted to get something that wasn't only bizarre, but cool at the same time. Well, I guess he achieved that. Imagine spending $450,000 on a military truck. How does that sound like? Sign a 4 years, $24 million deal with the New York Knicks and celebrate that by getting an expensive car. That's what any average person would do, right? Well, in J.R. Smith's case, the car happens to be a really expensive truck. Smith drove around New York in a Gurkha F5 after his deal with the New York Knicks. This truck is used by the police and the military, and as if getting a truck is so odd to begin with, this automobile cost Smith a whopping $450,000. Spend all you want, but to get a vehicle that isn't that compatible and is worth this much, let's just say that rich people don't have the best taste. Is there anything like too many shoes? Before we offend the shoe connoisseurs with their own shoe collections, of course there's no such thing as too many shoes, but a shoe collection worth $100 million? Now that's a little too much. The amount of shoes that Jarrett Jack has stocked up in his house is enough to make it look like a shoe store. His total shoe collection includes a total of 1,500 shoes and sneakers, and many of them are from limited editions, so that obviously makes them insanely more expensive than the usual ones. The most expensive pair out of his shoe collection is the one he got for around $200,000, and honestly, not even billionaires have bought a pair of shoes worth that much. Gambling definitely gone wrong. Let's end this video with our favorite, Kobe Bryant. The late NBA player was loved by many, and he was also known to be the sweetest human being, but one unfortunate night, his attitude cost him $1 million. While in a club opening in Las Vegas, Bryant decided to add some more spice into his gamblings and leveled that up by a really huge margin. He got involved in buying 5 champagne bottles each, of which cost $1,400, but somehow he ended up purchasing 15 bottles each for $21,000 in the end. Fun fact, he never even got to drink any of it. Now, after spending that much money per bottle, you should at least get a little fun out of it, but the deceased NBA player never even got the chance to drink, as he left immediately after paying that heavy total. That's just plain sad and unfair. Anyway, rest in peace, Kobe. With that, we wrap up today's video. Which one out of these was the dumbest purchase according to you? Let us know in the comments down below. And before you go, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel as well. We'll see you in the next one.